Laters. So, Engwe sent me another P275 SE. I do like this bike. So I did my top 3 bikes of the year for Engwe, but there's some there's also some also runs, and this is one of them. I love this little bike mainly because of this AI torque sensor. It's just amazing, but I like it for a lot of reasons. And now I've unlocked it, it's even more incredible. It's that AI sensor gets you off at the start really quick. I absolutely love it. Yeah, really quick. I'm just barely pedaling at the moment and I'm doing 18 mile an hour. But just getting off at the stops, just getting off at the beginnings of a ride, that's where this bike shines. This is where that AI sensor shines. Quick release front wheel, of course. I think one of the downsides is, and it is a downside, is that 2 amp charger. You know, it takes forever to charge the battery up, but you know, do it overnight, it's not going to make a lot of difference, is it? At all. Yeah, that AI sensor. Let's talk a bit more about this AI sensor, because it works really well. I wish I had it on more bikes, I really do. It makes a massive difference to getting away. And at the lights, that's important. When you're in traffic, that's important. I love his lights. Every year it goes mental. I'd hate to have his electricity bill though. So yeah, year in, year out, Engwe seems to be making better bikes, but in this case, it's a superb bike. There's just not a lot to not like about it. The brakes are good, they're those Logan copies that I go on about. All the school lot are parked up, look. And the other thing is, I do like these sweeping Dutch style handlebars. They're really comfortable, really are. One of my favourite things about this bike is how comfortable it is. Let's bang some gears up. Yeah, it's one of those bikes you'd love or you hate the shape of, and it's a commuter bike. And as far as commuter bikes go, I absolutely love this bike. It's absolutely brilliant. One of the things that I do have an issue with it, you'd have to have mirrors that go out there, and you might have noticed today I've got no mirrors on the bike, and it's basically, I had them on before, but it's such an awkward position to set them up. So you'd have to have handlebar instead of bar end mirrors, and all I've got in is bar end mirrors. There's a lot of traffic around this evening. It's not as cold as it's been. It's been really cold, but tonight it's nowhere near as bad as it has been. Got to be thankful for small things, really. Small mercies. So yeah, riding round on this, it's just brilliant. It's so comfortable. I like the colour of this one too. They sent me a different colour this time. I used to have a rally racer that was this colour. They used to call it ice blue, I think. And I'm sure it was about as near to this as you could get a colour. You can understand why the Dutch like these bikes, because they're so comfortable to ride round on. And because it's all the canals, it's all flat. It's not like they're going to be tearing up hills, is it? But yeah, fab little e-bike this. I say little. You wouldn't have any problems getting this into the back of your car. The front wheel comes off, and it's quite slight when it's broken down. Well, I say the favourite thing of mine about this bike is that AI sensor. It's just really well done. If If I was to build my ultimate Engwe bike, one of the things that I'd have on it, that I think they should be putting on these bikes, is this AI sensor. I said before in my previous video, it might have been down to the fact that they only have one size bracket base for it at the moment. But I can see this, if they've got any sense, putting this into a lot more e-bikes. The other thing about this bike, that actually, as a commuter bike, works out really well, and far better than it does on the M1s, is the tyres are wider. It's only about, I think the tyres on the N1s are 1.65 inch, and I think these are nearly 2 inches wide, and it makes a big difference. Big 27.5 inch wheels, so they absorb quite a lot, and having suspension on the front, that makes a difference, but it's not really needed, really isn't. Yeah, those big wheels, they absorb quite a lot. I don't think, to be fair, you don't, I mean, because it's a locked out suspension anyway, it's always on, or whatever the spring tension is. I don't think it's really needed, you know, I really don't. I really don't. So yeah, currently unlocked, coming uphill at 17 mile an hour. Torque sensor. It's just a nippy bike. Really is a nippy bike. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get on this outside lane here. There we go. Yeah, ultimately this shifts when you need it to shift. It's made better, go on son, it's made better by, this bike's made better by the fact that it's now unlocked. Is it a be all and end all? Not really. You may have also noticed new camera. Yeah, so not necessarily a new camera. This is the Ace Pro 2 that I've been using for a while, but they've released a load of new lenses, and this is the boost lens, which is you can see there the curve on it, gives a better field of view, so it's gone up to about 182 degrees. The problem I have when I'm filming, I can't get the full set of handlebars in with the mirrors on when I'm filming, plus I get curvature at the sides of the video, which is down to how these cameras work. So with this, I can put it in a linear mode instead of the action mode and still get a wide field of view. So you're going to get no curvature or very little curvature at the edges of the frame, and I'm going to be able to keep the field of view wide open. So that's what I'm filming with today, and you'll see a wider field of view as I'm filming. Anyway, just an explanation for that, and yeah, it's a cracking camera. It's my favourite camera, and I've been using it for a while now. Well, same camera as Ace Pro 2, but in white. But I've got a few of these now, and it'll become apparent why I've been buying them in future videos, because we're going to be doing some other stuff. Not just reviewing bikes, but we're going off on adventures with them. Especially towards next spring, we're going to be all over the place. In fact, I'm toying with taking my truck down to the south of France and maybe into Spain. So yeah, this thing's just lovely to ride. Comfort levels that you really wouldn't expect on a bike like this. Anyway, we're going to have a mooch into the centre of town, and then we're probably going to change over our POV. No rattles from this whatsoever, none. The brakes are good because they got those Logan copies on. I love about these bikes now, they're putting hydraulics on everything. Christmas lights. So as I say, this is one of the also runs. It's not because it's a worse bike, it's just because people just, I don't know, in the UK they're not looking for electric They're not looking for electric commuter bikes. Well, they might be, because people are selling them. There must be a market for it. And in the case of this one, well, it's just a brilliant bike for the money. Obviously, if you use my code, you get extra discount on it, blah, blah, blah. Buy me some Guinness. There's no blah, blah about that. But yeah, ultimately, as bikes go, honestly, people, ultimately, as bikes go, even just normal bikes, even the 20 befores, even, you know, these cargo bikes, this bike stands out on its own as being pretty cool. Really good for what it does. It's starting to get dark, which, well, part of the test that I'm doing today is taking it out in the traffic as we go home during rush hour. But yeah, there's a lot to like about this bike. I liked it the day I got it. Took it out for that first review. And it improved a lot of things. It was a problem with the P275 when that was released. It just, you know, the hydraulic brake upgrade, this torque sensor in this is just brilliant. This bike's unique selling point, its USP, is that torque sensor. The way it works is just, and with the gearing, it works well with the gearing. I mean, I'm barely pedaling now. I've barely got any weight on the pedals. It's just so well done. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 testing. 1, 2, 3 testing. To say it's nearly dark in the centre of Wakefield, the low light on this new iPhone 17 Pro is really good. Anyway, that's a me thing, not a you thing. It's a really nice colour, this bike. I do like the big reflective tyres on here. They do make a big difference, you know, as do these hydraulic brakes. Really do make a big difference. Yeah, that's my Unit 1 bag and Eura helmet there. I keep going on about this. I need to do a review of it. I just haven't got round to it. Gears work really well, and it's a nice screen too. Put these up, look. And they're big enough to get my fingers on even with gloves on, which was one of my complaints about the original P275. Over here we got the usual tawny gear shifter, the Tombstone. It's one of the things that lets it down. But, you know, for what they're charging for this bike at the moment, I think it's on sale for under £1,000. Look at the lights. The lights are nice and bright, as you can see there. As is the rear light there. You know, there's a lot to like about this bike. Comfy saddle. Oh yes. You know, the battery's easy to remove. It's a key lock. The suspension's just the suspension. It's neither on or off. It's just the spring weight, but it's just the spring tension. But it's enough. It does job well. Quick release front wheel there. Chain guard. One of the great things about these bikes is they're kind of stealthy. And I've always said, what sort of like self-respecting copper is going to pull you over on one of these to check to see if it's all right. You know, I've ridden 52 volt bikes with, you know, step throughs. Nobody looks at them. Which is, it's a brilliant thing, really. It really is a brilliant thing. You don't want to be, you can unlock this and it just doesn't seem unlocked. It easily gets up to 20 mile an hour plus, but with that physics, you're going to reduce the range on the battery. Let's go down here. Nice full-size metal pedals. Plastic mud guards, which I'm a big fan of. Cables are quite tidy. I'm pretty sure, and I'm still sure now, that that is for a throttle. But yeah, good old Engwe. For a while I did say Engwe kept making brilliant bikes, but they'd always get something majorly wrong. That's something that's stopped happening as much now. They're trying to get the bike right from the off. So we know, see how we get across here. Not gonna make it. Should make it here. Let's go look at the Christmas lights while we're out and about in Wakefield. I can't feel any vibration through that back wheel, even though there's no suspension. And again, that's down to those big wheels, those big 27.5 inch, 2-inch tyres on the back. They just, I think the max you can get in air pressure wise is 65 psi. I'm running at about 60 because I'm a bit of a fatty. But they're just so comfortable. The bike's just, and it's very, very nimble. It's not just comfortable, it's nimble. Really is a nimble thing. Let's dodge through some traffic here, and this is what I'm going to tell you about now, about, you know, traffic wise, it's not bothered about what other people are doing on the road. It's just a cracking thing to ride round on, it really is. Nobody on the pavement, so I'm going on it. Yeah, it's a really cracking thing, this bike. It's back on the pavement. There we go. Yeah, it's really nimble. And that's because the tyres are skinny. You know, you're not trying to force those big 4-inch tyre footprints around. This is just like, it's not as good as the 1.65s on the M1s, but it's more comfortable. You feel less vibration. So for that, it's worth the price of admission. They're just better tyres, they really are. And they're more grippy, they've got a different grip on. Yeah, the speed that this thing takes off at in first gear is just, it's like a little rocket ship. Now, even though it hasn't got the Newton meters of the L20 3.0 Pro, because that mid-drive, that torque on that is ridiculous, but I think this takes off quicker. I really do think it takes off quicker. And again, that's down to that AI sensor. Yeah, the USP of this bike is definitely that torque sensor, the way it shifts. And the grip on these tyres is just brilliant. They really are good tyres for grip. It's a bit windy, I don't know if I'm picking up any wind noise, but this thing shifts. My favourite e-bike of the year, and I'm going to say it again, is the L23.0 Pro, because that USP on that is it's got multiple USPs, folding mid-drive, 100 Newton meters of torque, you know, that built-in alarm system. That's worth the price of admission for that bike. There's 3 or 4 things on that bike that is just great value for money. Really is. It looks different. It's won a design award. But this has 1 or 2. The comfort on this is just as good. You know, it's a nice step through. Those sweeping Dutch handlebars, they make a big difference on this bike. And I'm going to go up the side hill on the road here, which is something I don't like doing as a rule. But this bike will have no problems getting me up there and keeping me reasonably safe. You know, it's just, I'm hardly putting the effort in. I'm in 4th gear, 16 mile an hour up here. You know, it's just, I just feel my legs going round. I don't feel like I'm doing any work. Again, it's just worth the price of admission. It really is. Do I recommend this bike? To be honest, I think this is the best commuter bike they make. You know, the M1 Pro, it's nice, but it's not as comfortable as this. It's just not. And it costs a lot more than this. I think it costs 900 quid more than this. But I still think this is the better of the bikes. I enjoy taking it around London, the M1 Pro. It's just a good day out. But to live with every day, get to work and back, I think it's this. I really do think it's this. It's not a big margin, but it's margin enough. Yeah, it's margin enough. Somebody's obviously written a particularly nasty Facebook post. Yeah, the pace, the way it picks up on this is just, it's up there with the L23.0 Pro. Now there's a guy who subscribed to my Facebook group a long time ago, Simon, and he's been messing around with his and he loves it. He hasn't unlocked his, but he loves it, and he bought it on my recommendation, which I thought he might have bought something else, but he bought this because it fitted his needs, it fitted his wants. So shout out to Simon. Yeah, because there's no resistance on these wheels, on these tyres, it just gets away. But it also seems to know what gear you're in. I don't know how that AI sensor works, but it also if you're in first, which you'd expect it to get away quicker because it's in a higher gear, but it really does get away quicker than it does in 4th and 5th. I think this tries to get you into being in the right gear all the time. You know, you could do one of these. Santa, it's got a rack on the back. I don't normally name bikes, well I do, I've named a few. And seeing as it's coming up to Christmas, I'm going to name this one Rudolph. It's got good carrying ability. I mean, it's not a cargo bike, but it's got good carrying ability. Christmas lights. would be nice to see if somebody actually slapped straight bars on this and what they thought. I mean, these are really comfortable, but straight bars mean you can get bar end mirrors on, makes it a bit safer. And we're gonna slip through. Yeah, let's go through here. I mean, I've probably gone through 2 sets of traffic lights here. In fact, just to be a bit safer, I'm going to go through here. Plenty of light. And there on reds, they're coming next, so I do like the Christmas lights, they look pretty. I say Wakefield angle a lot, but they've spent some money this year on the lights and done a pretty decent job of it, even though the economy's in the shitter. The gears are smooth as well, and then people keep telling me, oh, I'm changing my gears out to this, this and this on their e-bikes, but they don't need to. There's no reason for it. These bikes aren't high-end mountain bikes, these are just cruisers. All these 24 e-bikes, they're all cruisers. You don't need, the reason they put turny on, I keep telling you, the reason they put turny derailleurs on these, they're cheap and they do the job well, they're well tested. You know, they've been on e-bikes since, well, probably from day one that they started exporting them from China. There's not a lot to go wrong with them. You know, coming down here, I'm about to hit some bumps, nothing. And I can normally feel them through 20 before tyres. Gotta like that. You know, if I had the space, this would definitely be a keeper. It really would. I'm just limited on space. And out of all the bikes that I've kept, out of all the bikes I've had, it's the one that I keep is the L23.0. But the bloke I actually sold the original one onto, his missus loves it. She absolutely loves it. And on the day I gave him the choice between this and the M1 Air. And I said, you need to try this. It might not be made of carbon fibre, but it's the better bike to ride. And he rode both and he said, I fully agree with you. He agreed with me. It wasn't any psychosomatic thing that I put in his head. It's just a better bike to ride. And we're currently in rush hour traffic and I feel safe on it. I really do feel safe on it. It's just a nippy thing. You know, with Christmas coming up and the fact that Engwe have got these on the cheap at the moment, and you're looking for a bike that's a commuter bike that gets you from work to work and back, and you're manly enough to know that the looks of it look a bit feminine, but it doesn't matter to you, this is the better e-bike. This bike is just brilliant. Doesn't bother me riding round on it because I'm manly.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
I do like step throughs, it's an age thing. The older you get, the more likely you are to end up on a step through because you know you haven't got to cock your leg up like a drunk dog. But here I am now on the flat, 20 mile an hour, 21. It's shifting. Really is shifting. I'm barely putting any pressure on these pedals. And the reason being is because they're a lower profile tyre, I don't have to put the effort I do into 20 befores. And these 27.5 inch wheels, they deal with bumps like they're not there. You know, it's a win-win. This is the Audi thing, where Audi owners look down on, Skoda owners. They're basically, in some cases, the same car, same chassis, same engine, just a different badge. This is that. People look down on these things because, well, it's not a manly looking thing, is it? Kind of wonder if they're going to release this as a step over frame with straight bars. If it was me and I was Engwe, I'd release this with a step over frame and with straight bars, and they sell. You got all the adjustment you need there in that adjustable stem, and I reckon that bike would take off as a commuter bike. I really do. I really do think that would be an amazing bike. But if you're like me and you like the step through, if you genuinely want the step through, like I would, just swap the handlebars out. If that's the one thing that's not making it look manly enough for you, just swap them around. Like I said, I think Engwe are missing a trick by not having a full frame for this instead of a step through. I think the straight bars, or even just slightly chamfered bars, would make a big difference. I understand they're going after the Euro riders with this. You can tell that that's what they're doing, hence the Dutch style handlebars. But I still think they'd sell better in a full frame. Christmas lights again. So yeah, moving along here at 21 mile an hour on the flat. This bike's absolutely no slouch whatsoever, and I'm putting no effort into this. It's a fast bike. To lock and unlock takes seconds. So if you did get pulled over and you rode on a little bit, you could swap this out quite quickly. Yeah, to lock and unlock this, it's just a case of just hitting the plus and minus buttons, going back one step on the display, clicking it one button, clicking back, and you're locked again. It's that simple. I'll show you how to do it anyway at the end of this video. I'll do a video of how quick it is to do it. If you were that worried, I do think even with a torque, this torque sensor would get you at past 15.5 mile an hour if you just do a turn test on it. And the reason for that is, well, it's that AI sensor. It's just so good, it's so efficient. Anyway, I've got a couple more videos coming up before Christmas. A look at another e-bike that just didn't hit my top 3 but was close. And we're going to take that round Leeds to see the Christmas lights. Why not? I've got my EP2 Pro ModProjects edition coming up, so I'll show you what I've added to that to make it better. And well, that's about it. One of my neighbours has gone mental with the Christmas lights, and these have been on since I think it's October, but bless him. He does it for his kids. Oh, he says he does it for his kids, but look at that. Something's missing. They've got to blow up Santa. He's missing. Yeah, quick look at that headlight. Look. Nice and bright. Right. To unlock this, we just simply hold plus and minus buttons. We go back one, click into there, up one to put it up to 20 mile an hour, and that is now unlocked. To lock it again, we just reverse that. So back into there, back one step, hit that, come down one, so we're down to 16 mile an hour, look, and then hit that, and it's locked again. That's how quick it is. And this is what I mean, if you get pulled over, well, just ride on a little bit, swap it back. You ain't going to get pulled over anyway. I still think this is one of the stealthiest bikes out there because it's a step through.